श्रीकृष्णपरब्रह्मणे नमः। श्रीसद्गुरुपरमात्मने नमः। सर्वमहर्षिभ्यो नमः. The Lord explains the process of meditating on pranava. Om. 12th sloka. Sarvadvarani samyamya manohridi niruddhya cha मूर्ध्न्याध्यायात्मनः प्राणमास्थितो योगधारणम्. 13th श्लोक. ओमित्येकाक्षरं ब्रह्म व्याहरन् मामनुस्मरन् यः प्रयाति त्यजन् देहं स याति परमां गतिम्. Substance. Who, having restrained all the gates of the senses, fixing the mind in Atma, holding the vital breath in his head, concentrating on Atma by yogic practice, repeating the sacred syllable Om, which is Brahman, remembers me at the time of leaving body, he attains the supreme goal. Commentary. The process of meditating on Om and attaining final liberation is explained here. It does not mean that one should follow it only at the time of death. It means that one should practice this method throughout life and remain in that state even at the time of death. Without closing the gateways of senses, the mind cannot be turned inwards to concentration on Atma. The frame of knowledge may easily be put out by the winds of the sense attractions at the gateways or if the gateways are kept open. Here it is said that all the senses should be restrained. The restraint should be complete and perfect. It should be understood that without sense constraint, no other sadhana is possible. Already the Lord has declared, first restrain the senses. As the tortoise withdraws all its organs into its shell, so should the yogi withdraw all the senses from their usual external activities in the objective world. Then the mind should be centered in the heart, in Atma. The heart, Atma, is the source from which the mind arises. So the mind should be turned back to its own source. When the senses are controlled, the mind naturally loses its roving nature and sinks into its own source. The mind should think of Paramatma in a continuous stream of unbroken consciousness. What is the mantra for meditation? The one syllable Om, which is Brahman. Om is Pranava. It is the essence of the Vedas. It is not enough merely to utter the word Om, but one should think of the Lord. It means that the idea symbolized by the word Om should be thought of. Mere verbal repetition of the mantra without thinking of its meaning will not yield the best results. If a cannon is fitted with powder without the shell, it will cause a noisy explosion only. But the target is not reached because there is no shell. Similarly, when pranava is uttered with its meaning in mind, it will lead to the goal. Ceaseless thought of the Lord is the way to Atmagnana. The following points are revealed through these two verses. First, repetition of a mantra, japa, is not enough. There should be concentration on the thought of the formula. Second, among all the mantras, pranava is the highest and it leads to Brahman. Third, it is not enough to think of the Lord now and then. Continuous memory is essential. Fourth, all the senses should be restrained, not merely one or two. Fifth, the heart is the source of the mind. The mind rises from the heart, Atma, and sinks into the heart. Sixth, anyone without distinction of race, caste, and creed can attain moksha by the above mentioned method of repeating pranava. Question. What is the highest state? Answer. Paramatma, the state of Brahman. Question. Who can attain it? Answer. He who can restrain the senses, fix the mind in Atma, hold the prana in the Brahmarandra by yoga dharana, repeat pranava, and understanding its significance, attains Brahman. The Lord is easily attainable by one who thinks of him with single minded devotion continuously. 14th sloka. Ananyachetaha satatam yo mam smarati nityashaha tasyaham sulabham partha nityayuktasya yoginaha. Substance. O Arjuna, who thinks of me with single minded devotion continuously and ever, by him who is ever united with me, I, I am easily attained. Commentary. The easy way to attain God is here explained. People think that it is very difficult to attain him, but practicing in the right way, he is easily attained. He who thinks of him continuously and always attains him. The mind should be free from any other thought except the thought of God. Usually, the mind is attached to various things and gets entangled in the meshes of objective world through the senses. That is why it is said here that one should be filled to the brim with the thought of God continuously and forever. It is not enough to think of Him now and then. Always and every day, the thought of God should be present in the mind. Of course, the steady practice, day after day, the mind could be trained to think of God more and more. So, practicing after a long time, the mind gets fixed and does not turn away from Him. Then the Lord is attained. The seeker should be vigilant and try his best not to yield to the temptations of Maya. The wakeful and watchful man has no fear of falling away from the goal. Question. Who can attain God easily? Answer. Those who worship God with single minded devotion day after day and forever attain Him. Question. What is the easy path to realize God? Answer. Single minded devotion and constant contemplation of the divine. Those who attain God do not again enter samsara. 15th sloka. Mamupetya punarjanma dukhalayamashashvatam napnuvanti mahatmanaha samsiddhim paramam gataha. Substance. Having attained me, these great souls, Mahatmas, do not again take birth, which is the place of pain and is non eternal. They have reached the highest perfection. Commentary. It is declared here that those who attained God do not enter samsara. So long as realization does not come to man, he is whirled about in the flood of birth and death. When truth is known, there is no birth, and hence no pain or sorrow. The need for perfect freedom is stated here. Freedom is to be attained for the purpose transcending pain and sorrow. The Lord makes it clear that the place where man takes birth is the abode of sorrow and is non eternal. Birth is subject to these two evils. Even if a person feels that he is enjoying something here, it is only a shadowy joy, which is mixed with pain. We see that joy is inevitably followed by sorrow as its own shadow. That is why the wise men are not tempted by these reflected pleasures. The world is the abode of sorrow. It is the place where sorrow rules. Out of ignorance and delusion, man imagines that he is enjoying this or that pleasure. But the Lord, who knows the truth, warns mankind out of infinite compassion. O ye mortals, do not be deluded. This world is the very abode of pain and sorrow. Seek for that which is true joy and eternal and transcend all sorrow. Avidya is the power which deludes man to think of non eternal as eternal, the impure as pure, and Anatma as Atma. So, the way to transcend is to attain God. Let everyone take refuge in God in every way through devotion, knowledge, and dispassion. Union with God is the highest state of freedom and perfection. As many enlightened sages have attained that state, it is suggested that every man can achieve it with adequate will and determination. Those who take refuge in God with a pure heart are Mahatmas. Those who are entangled in worldly objects are Alpatmas, little minded men. Mahatma is a title. To reject the false and hold on to the truth, to reject the ephemeral and hold on to the eternal, to reject anatma and hold on to atma, is the way to attain the highest state of Mahatma. Such enlightened sages do not return to the world which is characterized by pain and sorrow. Those who are desirous of eternal joy should strive with faith and devotion to reach that state. Question: what is the nature of the world? Answer: it is full of sorrow and non eternal. Question: who do not enter the world? Answer: those who have attained God. Question: what is that God state? Answer: it is the state of highest perfection. Question: what is the way to transcend sorrow? Answer: not to enter the world, take birth is the way to transcend sorrow. Question: what is the way to become birthless? Answer: attaining the highest perfection, Paramatma.